Yes, a very good evening from Rob Palmer and Terry Gibson, and welcome to the Stade de Tangier. It's the first time the Spanish Super Cup has been held away from Spanish mainland soil. We're just across the water in Tangier for the kick-off of the Spanish season. The league champions against the Copa del Rey runners-up, of course, in a repeat of the Spanish Cup final last season. They have come from far and wide, but a huge African contingent, mainly, as you can see, of Barcelona supporters inside the stadium tonight, very excited at seeing the superstars with their own eyes. Well, it is that experimental stage of the season for the two managers. Barcelona still without Sergio Roberto, who's serving a ban from last season. Clement Lenglet makes his debut after his summer move from tonight's opponent, Sevilla. Rafinha returns to the squad after heading to Inter Milan last season. Artur is one of the high-profile signings in the summer, and Dembele has an opportunity to star alongside Messi and Suarez in the three-man strike force. Sevilla under new management. Not too many changes, though. They have a new goalkeeper, and the Czech international Vaclik. In front of him, Sergi Gomez is a former Barcelona B-team player. He takes part in a back three. Eva Banega is back. Rocky Mesa has made his move permanent from the English Premier League. And Luis Muriel will be partnered by Vasquez in an experimental attacking lineup for the new coach machine. Eric Abidal is the new director of football at Barcelona Football Club, and the new coach of Spain, of course, is the former Catalan manager Luis Enrique, taking in several of his potential players for the Spain national team this season. And an introduction to the officials tonight. We have Senor Hill, who is in charge of the VAR team. The new innovation in Spain. They only decided that they would have it hours before kickoff. Gil Manzano, who was a top-flight referee, will be aiding the man in the middle today, Carlos Del Cerro Grande. And I'm sure you know all about VAR now. The big decisions are to be reviewed. Well, these days the teams travel far and wide to spread the global name of Barcelona Football Club. But Terry Gibson, who's alongside me, this is the first rail test for Barcelona.
Yes, and of course it's unusual that it's just a one-legged affair. We're so used to the two-leg affair that we saw last season with Barcelona getting dismantled by Real Madrid, and everybody expected it to be Real Madrid's season in La Liga. And of course we know it turned out completely different. Barcelona dominating proceedings in La Liga, winning the title, winning the domestic cup as well. A double for Ernesto Valverde in his first season, and it was a troubled season for Sevilla on the whole. Three managers just about scraped through to qualify for the Europa League, and at the moment they're in the possibility of the second leg against Zalgiris from Lithuania on Thursday evening. A slender one-goal lead from the first leg home game, so they've got a little bit more competitive action under their belts. But of course both teams will be looking to play well, most importantly to win this high-profile fixture.
Well, it is all very complicated. As Terry described it, a high-profile fixture. It is officially a friendly, so the teams were told late on that they could play more than their three non-EU internationals, which rather angered Sevilla. They came up with a statement late last night saying they were very unhappy. But it's a first-class fixture, which is why we have VAR, which is going to be seen in this experimental La Liga season. It may not be Cristiano Ronaldo in Spanish football anymore, but Lionel Messi is still at the top of his game. Tonight he's up against his favourite opponent. Sevilla scored 31 goals in 33 matches against them. 3 more than against any other team. Messi has scored against or on the land of 31 different countries. He's never scored on the African continent tonight. Can he make it the first time in Morocco? That's what they're playing for. Yet another trophy for the Barcelona Club Museum. Ernesto Valverde got off to a shocking start last season against Real Madrid in the 2 legs. Lost both of the games 5-1 on aggregate. But Barcelona have won this trophy more than any other club. 12 times in their history. Sevilla only successful once before that in 2007 against Real Madrid. They lost it in 2010 and 2016 against Barcelona. Well, the big walk-on music greets the players. A willing and eager crowd in Morocco to see two of the top teams in European football compete for the first big trophy of the season in Spain. It's a new modern stadium. It holds 44,000 when at capacity, as it expected to be tonight. It'll be closer to the city of Seville than it is to Catalonia. It's a 1,200-kilometre journey for the Barcelona supporters and the players who will be heading home straight after the game. Many of the Sevilla fans have left their vehicles at the ferry terminal in Tarifa if they've just hopped across the water.
Welcome to Tangier and welcome to the IBN.
Are you hearing him? Our apologies if you were receiving a little bit of interference there on the sound from Morocco as the two teams greet each other. Apologies, we do have a few problems with the feed at the moment. This is the Sevilla team yet again tonight. They're going with a back three, Cayer alongside Mercado and Sergi Gomez. They'll be playing with wing-backs in Escudero, who skippers the team tonight, and Navas on the other side. Of course, they've signed Alex Vidal from Barcelona, who'll be challenging Navas for that position. Muriel will be very much the centre-forward, and Vasquez will be lending support from midfield. Well, Barcelona have named 4 captains this season. The leader of the side is always going to be Lionel Messi, who wears the captain's armband tonight, looking to add to his array of goals. He scored against Sevilla 12 seasons in a row. Introduce again Senor Gil Manzano, one of the senior officials. I suppose this new VAR system extends the career of many referees. Barcelona team, well, Dembele has an opportunity to establish himself in the side. There is still talk in Spain of him maybe being loaned out. He's alongside Suarez and Messi. The only big summer signing we're going to see tonight is Arter, who's alongside Busquets and Rafinha, who returns to the club. Semedo will be at fullback, and Clement Longley is in the starting 11. On the bench is Umtiti, who is still recovering after an arduous and successful summer with the France national team.
Certainly to be apprehension from the Sevilla players. I mentioned 1 or 2 new faces, but so many of the players played in that Copa del Rey final where they were heavily defeated 5-0 by Barcelona. Suarez amongst the goals were Brace, Messi, and yes, the Coutinho. Certainly Sevilla will be desperately hoping that they can put up a better performance than they did in that cup final.
Barcelona, the champions of Spain, who kick off. It was labelled as a disappointing season for them last year as they won the trophy and of course beat Sevilla in the final of the Copa del Rey. Pristine pitch as the Spanish Super Cup is brought to Africa. Last year they had the France Super Cup here as well. Maybe next year it'll be the Premier League teams that are playing here instead of Wembley Stadium.
Barcelona trying to get Jordi Alba away, having possession. Pablo Machin there, the Sevilla manager, sticking to the system that he used so well in his previous club, Girona. Essentially, 3-man defence, 4-man midfield, and 2 players just off of the main striker, Luis Muriel. And those 2 players will be Vasquez and Sarabia. It's pleasing to see a manager that has a style of play, gets a job based on his success and his particular style of play. and approaches it at the new club. We'll see how quickly the Sevilla players can take his methods on board.
Well, he's single-minded, isn't he? Because he came in from Girona. Last season he was offered half a dozen Manchester City players who had come in on loan, but he selected very few of them. He went with this formation. I remember seeing him about this time last year playing against Oldham Athletic. But we can't do that in the Spanish Premier League, but he continued to, and they had great success. They finished in 10th place, only 3 spots behind Sevilla in the Spanish standings, and that has earned him the move to Sevilla, who last season had 3 separate managers.
It's unusual for Sevilla as well. I think it's fair to say that their successful periods have been predominantly with a 4-4-2 formation. That was tinkered with slightly by Unai Emery. But certainly haven't seen them on a consistent basis play a back 3, so it's going to be interesting to see how Sergio Gomez, the new player, Simon Kjær, Gabriel Mercado fare, in particular, of course, against the reigning league champions and cup winners, Barcelona.
Semedo to Gerard Piqué, who announced this week that he was retiring from international football with Spain. So one less player for Luis Enrique to cast his eye upon tonight. Here's Dembele. It's going to take a while as well, isn't it, for these Sevilla players to get used to the new tasks that have been set by their new manager. They haven't had a settled team in the various pre-season games they've had. They had a terrible end to last season. They went 8 games without a victory for beating Real Sociedad and Alaves in their final 2 home games. And the problem was they were out of Europe, and they knew they were going to be in 7th position. This is Jordi Alba, who's beaten the Sevilla offside trap. And sensibly knocked out of play by Kjær.
Well, Simon Kjær does well, and eventually to defend this situation, Jordi Alba. The Sevilla players claiming offside, but I think he makes his run early, makes it from deep, beats the offside trap against Jesus Navas, but it does appear the referee has brought back the action. It's very close, isn't it? Simon Kjær is the last player.
Well, he was given by the referee's assistant on the far side, but I imagine that the VAR officials in their little box will be using that as a test, maybe working out from the shadow cast by the player whether he was actually offside or not.
So much space there, though, wasn't there, for Jordi Alba? Busquets had time on the ball. Navas having to get used to initially last season playing in that right-back position, where he did rather well playing for Manchester City. At Sevilla, they brought him back to be a winger. He again was converted to a full-back. Now he's playing the wing-back role, so another new experience for the experienced Spanish player for Sevilla.
This is Kjær, who was out of favour for a large spell of last season. To Navas, looking for Muriel. He found him. Again, like the World Cup finals, the officials have been encouraged to flag very, very late.
There's no need to flag on that occasion, is there? He's level with Gerard Piqué.
They gave him offside.
Well, it's certainly encouraged to allow the play to continue, then we go back to and use the VAR rather than put the flag up, stop what could have been a goal. I think that's the correct way to use it if it's close. Of course, we don't just like assistant referees ignoring every offside decision, but when it's very close, they have to let it continue, then go back and use VAR.
Jordi Alba taking on the number 8 shirt is Artur Melo, the Brazilian. I wonder how they broke it to him that he was going to be taking on a number which has been worn by Andres Iniesta for the best part of 2 decades. The other change, of course, is that Philippe Coutinho, who's not part of the team tonight, will wear the number 7 shirt.
Sarabia with the foul on Luis Suarez here. Let's give Barcelona the opportunity to send one or two players forward. And Clement Lenglet, the new signing from Sevilla, makes his way forward with Gerard Piqué.
Lenglet had a season and a half at Sevilla. Made a big impact, earned him the move to Barcelona in the summer. Gives them an option. The signing of Lenglet, Barcelona have allowed Yeremina, who I have to say was impressive at the World Cup finals, to head over to Everton. Barcelona will become a bit of a feeder club for Everton this summer.
And you could argue the same with Sevilla, with Barcelona as well. Clement Lenglet, classic example, isn't it, of Sevilla. Bought him for €5 million. 18 months later, Barcelona purchased him for €30 million, and that's been a regular occurrence. It's somewhat held Sevilla back from making real progress in terms of challenging at the very top of the table.
Lenglet to Piqué. Very high line being operated by Sevilla. Pablo Maschi, they won't change from this. Girona certainly didn't last year. They kick off with a back three. When they defend, of course, they get 5 or 6 players strung across the line, as you can see. But he's an inventive coach. Stubborn and successful. It's a poor ball by Sergi Busquets. Banega. Now Mercado. Cross kindly for Muriel. Teases Piqué, gets through him as well, and Sevilla score! Sarabia, well, double checks. The referee, on the advice of his assistant, has ruled the goal out. Halt the celebrations just for now. Well, we saw it at the World Cup finals, and we saw the band of officials known as the VAR, and this is what they are looking at.
It's going to be a goal, isn't it? I think Lenglet is slightly deeper than Sarabia. It's a fine finish. It's just a shame it tempers the celebrations of the Sevilla players. Scoring a goal in a big game. Barcelona appeal. They couldn't wait to test out the VAR. As you see, Sevilla work the ball really well from deep. Once Luis Muriel gets on the ball, the Barcelona defenders are backtracking. He just prods it off just in the nick of time to Sarabia, who technically is a really skillful player. A class act, and comes in on his left foot, his weaker foot, strokes it into the bottom corner, past Ter Stegen. Excellent start for Sevilla. You see Muriel just about sorts his feet out in time. Sarabia, left unmarked, in space, makes the most of the opportunity. Excellent finish from Pablo Sarabia.
Well, he weighed in with 9 goals last season, Sarabia. That's already his 4th goal of the season, because, of course, Sevilla have been playing in the Europa League qualifiers. He scored 1 at home and 2 against Ubjiastorza. Has rather shaken things up here by scoring inside the 10 minutes. That will do the negotiating powers of his representatives the power of good. Arto to Semedo. Rafinha. This is Lionel Messi. Messi to Semedo. Dembele fighting to get in there, and Kayer goes to ground. And there is an appeal to the referee that he may have used his arm. The referee doesn't need the help from the voices in the head. He felt that was a fair interception.
Then it appeared, didn't it, as if Kier just went to ground and blocked it with his body.
Muriel again. And Sevilla have started this game on the front foot.
I think he gets his stomach to the ball, doesn't he, rather than his arm. Tries everything he can to get his arm out of the way.
Unconventional but legal.
Yeah, but it was poor play from Semedo. You saw there on the action replay, didn't get his head up, didn't look to see where his teammates were. He just drove towards the bar. Initially, it was really good play. Good run from deep, good movement to get into a really good position. He has the speed. Just got to get his head up and pick out a teammate with a pass, as opposed to just striking across the box and hoping for the best.
This is Semero to Arta. Piqué. Longley. Jordi Alba. Suarez. In some ways, this may be a trial for Dembele. He was a big signing last year, about 100 million euros. This is the referee's view of the incident, and as the red line was drawn, you could see that he was maybe a metre onside. We had millimetres yesterday in the English Premier League, didn't we, when it was the ball crossing the line. Suarez. Semero to Messi. Jordi Alba considered back across the face of goal after throwing himself at it. Well, apparently this will go down in the books as officially as a friendly game. There's nothing friendly about it, is there?
And there never is in this competition. It's just one leg this season, so it does make it slightly different. But it's always competitive. The league is starting next week, so the players will want to be in tip-top condition. They'll use this for match sharpness.
Semero to Messi. Barcelona trying to create a relationship on that right-hand side as they have on the left with Jordi Alba, who created so many goals last season. He weighed in with 8 assists. Created 5 goals for Lionel Messi alone.
It's all about that partnership, isn't it? Already tonight we've seen evidence just a minute or so ago when Jordi Alba got there on the end of the pass from Messi and volleyed it back across goal. Nelson Semedo, on the other hand, doesn't really have anyone obvious playing ahead of him, so the right flank is entirely his responsibility.
Well, he's the new breed of coach. Only played 5 times for Numancia as a professional footballer, and he's worked his way up the divisions from Numancia to Girona. Appointed in March 2014. Almost got them up in his second season. Nonetheless, got them up, and then last year they became part of the La Liga establishment at Girona. Not unsurprising statistics. Barcelona bossing the game as they do. But the surprise is above that, a 1-0 lead for Sevilla. Dembele, great run from Jordi Alba. Closed down by the most impressive player for Sevilla at the moment, Kier, the centre-half.
Yep, extra defence, central defender comes in really handy there for Sevilla. The experienced Simon Kier. And Dembele linking up well with Jordi Alba. He's looking to cut that back to Luis Suarez, who was on the move.
Well, taken quickly and cleverly to Lionel Messi. Messi goes through the legs of the defender, but can't go through the goalkeeper. And a fine save from the new summer shot stopper, Tomáš Vaclik. Well, probably the man most likely to get the first booking of the season for Barcelona. That's his name taken, Sergi Busquets.
He doesn't do enough to get out of the way of Luis Muriel, does he? He's arguing his case. There we see how can Sevilla switch off. Ever Banega out there defending the corner on his own, 2 against 1. And the ball goes into Lionel Messi, he gets into the penalty area, goes for goal himself. And a good save from Vaclik.
Well, this referee has officiated these two teams in a final before. It was the Copa del Rey final of 2016. And he dismissed 3 players. Eber Banega, who plays tonight, Carrizo, and Mascherano of Barcelona. Well, Dembele steals the ball, doesn't have a lot of support. Messi, oh, what a ball from Messi to Suarez, who can't steady himself. first time this evening we've seen that particular combination.
And just appear now, don't they, Barcelona? First time in the game to be finding their rhythm, finding it quite easy to break in behind the Sevilla defenders. Last-ditch defending, good goalkeeping from Vaclik is keeping Barcelona at the bay at the moment. And that was a sensational pass from Lionel Messi. You can see that back five of Sevilla. I don't think it'll be that prominent when they're playing the rest of the teams in La Liga. 1-0 ahead in the Spanish Super Cup. They've got the wing backs tucked in alongside the three central defenders.
Dembele. Messi looking sharp. Teaser for Jordi Alba, tries to catch the keeper out of his near post. Well, he's establishing himself between the sticks. Thomas Vaclik, the experienced Czech international. It is a step up though for Basel in the Swiss league to be facing the full force of Barcelona. Piqué. Messi to Busquets. Right to Nelson Semedo. Messi. Dembele to Messi. Referee right on top of the situation to ignore the pleas. And Sevilla counter-attacking at speed again. It is Sarabia who scored that opening goal.
They already look well drilled, don't they, Sevilla? Lots of bodies back behind the ball. It was attack versus defence in the attacking third of the pitch for Barcelona. But Sevilla do look dangerous on the counter-attack. It's progressive play, though, from Barcelona. Everybody was pushing into that final third. All 20 outfield players very close to each other. You see Jordi Alba trying to catch out the goalkeeper, actually at the near post.
Piqué. Semedo. Little Messi. Suarez. Poor pass from the Uruguayan international. Poor challenge from Rafinha.
See Rafinha, I think he's already aware of the threat that Sevilla have when they win the ball back quickly. Look to break forward. Vaclik with a smart save down at his near post. Slightly surprised that the goalkeeping changes at Sevilla. Two good goalkeepers in David Soria and Sergio Rico have been fighting it out to be #1 for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Both really good, both relatively young. To see both leave the club and replaced by Vaclik is a bit of a surprise, in my opinion.
And still talk of Kiko Casilla being on their wanted list as well.
We do have a 20-year-old Juan Soriano on the bench. They appeared to be well stocked in that position.
The two keepers that showed promise, though, weren't they? Neither had fully established themselves. And Rico last season particularly did have a shaky spell and fell out to the fans at one point. Hence his move over to the English Premier League. Alba. To Dembele. Semedo. Arta. Just a little bit too much on the pass. Mr. Valverde's finest moment before he joined Barcelona was actually winning the Spanish Super Cup at his previous club, Athletic Bilbao. Their first trophy of any kind in a couple of decades. Piqué. To Longley. Alba. Suarez has to hold it up as Dembele had strayed a little bit offside. Dembele came in last year with a grand fanfare. He's been man of the match in his one of his final games for his previous club, Borussia Dortmund. A young star in the Bundesliga, hence the 100 million euros transfer. But he didn't really get a good run in the side. He had a spell in the autumn and then picked up an injury. And then looked very nervous when he did come back. Sarabia.
He certainly found his best form of the season, didn't he, right at the very end, which would have been encouraging for him and Barcelona. I think we forget he's such a young player still, at 21 years of age, that huge transfer fee.
Teasing little ball in. Jordi Alba takes control.
Certainly Coutinho found his form a lot quicker, didn't he? Become a really important player for Barcelona before the end of the season.
Coutinho had quite an amazing scoring run. He'd managed to rack up 10 goals before the end of the season. Of course, he'd only played half a season. Before that, he'd scored a dozen for Liverpool as well. Great ball. Suarez is away, but no strength in the shot from Luis Suarez.
I'm surprised that Suarez decided to take it so early. Once he gets goal side of Kier, he's in pole position there to have to touch, get out on his feet, make life really difficult for the defender to make any worthwhile challenge. The team attempt eventually from Luis Suarez, but no save for Vaclik.
This is Rafinha, who's caught in full flight. The referee considers the yellow card and then decides, yes, he's going to book Vasquez.
Yeah, I think this is quite an obvious caution for the referee to give. Rafinha getting away. Vasquez makes the initial slide, realises he's not going to win the ball and makes sure he does all he can to have contact with Rafinha and bring him down.
Dembele. Alba. Busquets wins it back. Dembele to Artem. Suarez. That's a poor pass from Luis Suarez, who is looking the rustiest of all of the Barcelona players. Piqué.
Suarez is too good a player, isn't he, to be giving the ball away cheaply like that. It's complacent, it's untidy. Just needs to take more care. 10-15 yard pass, or should be straightforward for any of the players on this pitch, but particularly a world-class talent like Luis Suarez, but he's been guilty of that on 4 or 5 occasions this evening.
Busquets. Piqué. Dembele. Sarabia just leaning on the slight loose man Dembele, the France international.
Yeah, it's a clear shove, isn't it? I'm not sure why Sarabia is complaining. Never in a position to make that type of challenge cleanly. Anticipation from the supporters. Not sure the angle favours a direct attempt at goal for any player other than Lionel Messi, of course. So I wouldn't rule it out, but
it may not have faced him before, but he's seen all of the videos. Thomas Vaclik. He won't be straying off his line. On the side, they're going to defend right at the 18-yard box. Messi hangs the ball in there, and that was a very, very big opportunity. But Clement Longley, who came through the crowd.
He probably just about sees it late, doesn't he? Just goes over the head of Simon Kiel. Longley just believing if he gets something on it from that range, it will be enough to get the equaliser for Barcelona. Doesn't have to get off the ground, and somehow puts the ball over the crossbar from very close range.
Football finances are amazing, aren't they? They signed him for around €4 million from Nancy back in January of 2017, Longley. And they put a buyout clause in there of €35 million, which must have seemed an awful lot at the time. Barcelona were happy to meet that sum in the summer to take him to Catalonia. Already he's fitted straight into the side. He's going to be challenging someone, Umtiti, for the left-sided centre-back role.
Can play left-back as well. Lucadinha leaving the club, that will be a good option for Valverde to have. One of the last classic signings of Monchi, wasn't it? The sporting director at Sevilla, who's now moved on to Roma. That position now has been eventually taken up by Joaquin Caparrós, the former manager, the man that led them into the Europa League 7th spot at the end of last season when it looked very close that they weren't going to make it. Now it's going to be his responsibility, so I look forward to seeing the new players that Sevilla have signed in this transfer window. It's going to take some doing to get up to the level that Monchi Rodriguez had for over a decade for Sevilla.
Well, of course, Monchi thought that he'd made a big signing for Roma this summer in Malcolm, the Brazilian. Even his mum had headed to Italy. Problem was, he was given permission by his club to talk to Barcelona, and he never made it to Rome. Dembele picks up the loose ball. Hands it in the air. Barcelona, the kind of team that want the ball played along the floor.
That's success, Barcelona, down the left flank in particular, but also down the right flank with Semedo and getting behind the Sevilla defenders. But they haven't been able to make the most of the opportunities due to good defensive work from Sevilla, but also at times a lack of numbers in the box for Barcelona. See two new midfield players tonight, and Arturo and Rafinha. I say new, and Rafinha has not been at the club for a while. Busquets, of course, isn't the type of midfield player to get into the box. We saw that from Paulinho last season, didn't we? That was the way that he influenced the Barcelona team, making runs from deep, getting himself into the penalty area, and Messi drops deep.
Rafinha to Semedo. I think it was a little lucky a couple of minutes ago, wasn't he, not to receive a yellow card for rugby tackling his former teammate Muriel. Scudero. Vasquez loses his footing. Messi. Suarez. Out to Alaba. Dembele in support. Rafinha. Steadfast Sevilla defence. Navas, the former Manchester City, I was going to say winger, is a wing back. The team of his youth. That's a great ball through. Longley has to keep his arms down. Sarabia to Vasquez. They have a spare man at the far post, but just too much height on the cross for the Colombian Muriel.
In this system under Pablo Machín, it's really important that they influence the game. The two players that play off of the striker, Franco Vasquez and Pablo Sarabia, have certainly done that in this first 30 minutes of the game. It has been done from a style of play where they're patient defensively and then look to break really quickly, with Muriel being the focal point, but those two players in particular really working hard to get forward in support.
This is Semedo. Rafinha. Turn to Messi. Dembele. Should wide by Sevilla, and he puts in a listless cross.
But again, to be critical, it's a hopeful cross. Again, like Semedo, he doesn't get his head up and pick a player out. Vasquez tries to do exactly that, just inches away from getting it onto the head of Luis Muriel, up at the other end for Sevilla in attack.
Messi. Dembele. Time and space for Busquets. So a poor pass, easier for Sevilla to defend. And Sevilla advanced all the way to the cup final last year. They got to the knockout stages of the Champions League as well, but one of their problems was conceding goals. They conceded 85 in all competitions. Only one club in Europe actually conceded more than them. Some space for Escudero on the left-hand side. Sarabia screaming, waving, trying to catch his attention on this near side. Roque Meza. Longley readjusts. Neat header to Gerard Piqué. There's a foul on Semedo.
It's Escudero who's clearly going to be out of the game. Some results to pull in the jersey, the Barcelona player. I think if that happens in the La Liga fixture next week, then I think it would have been a yellow card. Referee being slightly lenient there to the Sevilla wing-back.
Jordi Alba. Cards up. Messi. Spotting Piqué.
Just watching the performance of Artur, a player I don't know an awful lot about. What I'm looking for is a player in midfield. Is he willing to accept responsibility of the ball when he's tightly marked? It's critical for a Barcelona midfield player, and I have to say in the first 30-odd minutes of the game he looks to be comfortable doing exactly that. Good in possession, good first touch.
Swing into the net post. Guerrero's been a dominating force in the Sevilla defence.
Well, he was missed last season. Had injuries on too many occasions, and it was a problematic area of the team for Sevilla. As you said, you mentioned the amount of goals they conceded in the La Liga in all competitions. When he's back and he's fit in the team, in the starting lineup, he's a leader. He clearly makes them better defensively.
Well, in some ways, it's a new defence, isn't it? Because when Mercado was around last year, but the other summer recruit is Sergio Gomez, who just whisked that ball beyond the running track into the crowd, who is part of the La Masia, the Barcelona academy. Semedo plays the ball back here, gets a tone, only as far as Dembele. Passes responsibility to Suarez. Balls to Jordi Alba. Defenders slipping and sliding everywhere, and Mercado keeps a cool head. And Barcelona still can't crack the code.
It just can't find that cutting edge down the centre of the field of play. Again, getting into a wide position.
Rafinha has the space. Anyway, will do for Escudero. Barcelona Slowly increasing the pressure. To Romelo. Nice now from Suarez to Semedo. Now to Arthur. Falls kindly for Luis Suarez. Looks for support. Oh, didn't need it. Went solo.
He was unlucky on this occasion, isn't he? You're right, he does look for support. He's onside. Simon Kjaer is slow to get out. Suarez has a look to his left. No one there in an advantageous position. So he decides, nonetheless, to put his foot right through the ball and just drags it past that far post. Certainly putting on the pressure, Barcelona, just before half-time.
He too has an excellent record against Sevilla. He scored 6 goals in his 6 matches against them. Pablo Machin couldn't control him at his previous club. He scored a hat-trick last year against Machin's Girona. To Piqué. Messi. Always have to give our formations before the game. You can't pin Lionel Messi down. It's just like a blue bottle, or maybe at this time of year we should say mosquito.
I think predominantly he's playing on the right side of the pitch. Obviously not in a right wing position. And of course he is allowed the freedom to drift wherever he feels, but he's certainly favouring the right side of the field of play.
Busquets to Messi, who's now on the left side. Well, they have strengthened the squad this season. On the bench tonight, there is class. They have Vidal, the new signing, Coutinho, Rakitic and Umtiti. Now that is a world-class bench. Tillerson is still the backup keeper, despite a lot of interest from English teams this summer. And Munir has, for now, returned to the club. Dembele. Now turn. Piqué. Semedo to Messi. Messi's fanciful flick. Semedo can't get there. Only half cleared. And that was a lunge under the referee's whistle. The free kick is part of the punishment. Rocky Messi's in trouble. But the real punishment could be the fact that Messi is on the field of play. What's that? A terrible challenge from Eber Banega, trademark some may say.
As late as you could possibly be as well, and he does appeal towards the referee. A claim of innocence from Eber Banega. Certainly the supporters in the stadium now can get on the edge of their seats. This is a genuine shooting opportunity, and it will, no doubt whatsoever, be an attempt from Lionel Messi. I think Suarez would know better by now, when he stands there for every free kick that Lionel Messi has. Pretending he's the right foot option. Plenty of men in the wall. Goalkeeper's going to be unsighted, isn't he, from that range down the middle of goal.
I've seen less players in a team picture. The air of anticipation.
Left, right, over, under. What's he going to do for Messi?
Through. Messi doesn't score. Piqué does. Well, this is the face of modern football, that you can't go on a wild celebration until the referee has had a word with for VAR. Barcelona feel the goal is going to count. Came off the post, and well, it appeared to me that PK had started in a legal position.
No doubt whatsoever that's the equaliser for Barcelona. Unless there's anything else we're looking for. Messi drives it down low to the goalkeeper's left. Off the post, a couple of Barcelona players were following up as PK eventually does force the ball home.
Goal given.
You see, it's so difficult for the goalkeeper. So many players in his line of vision. Comes back off the goalkeeper onto the post again, and then you see PK. There's Artura as well with the player that was fouled, the new player for Barcelona that was there initially. But the angle of the rebound fell kindly for PK and slams it home for the equaliser. Just reward, I would say. Barcelona had been pressing, been getting sharper as the game has gone on. Sevilla have seen very little.
Sevilla tried to bounce back immediately as Barcelona readjust. Rafinha throwing himself in the way. There is Lionel Messi. Didn't score the goal, but he'll be credited, I'm sure, with the assist. Semedo doesn't get there, Sarabia does, and a fine save from Ter Stegen. Excellent turnaround this, and the referee signals handball.
Just as the words were coming out of my mouth that we haven't seen a lot of Sevilla in an attacking sense since they got the opening goal of the game. As soon as Barcelona equalised, Sevilla respond. Good work from Muriel, and this outstanding save from Andre Ter Stegen from Sarabia. Sevilla worked really hard to keep the ball in the danger area until Escudero is penalised with the handball offence.
Well, we said as soon as Eber Banega raised his foot, gave away a free kick just off centre, a couple of yards outside the 18-yard box, and that was going to be a major mistake. He and Sevilla were punished cruelly. Navas. Four in the area if he can make the cross. No direction on the header from Vasquez.
You see Muriel driving towards the box, taking on Semedo, cuts it back across goal. Excellent attempt at goal from Sarabia. Not easy, gets his foot around the ball. Great reflexes from Ter Stegen to get down, spread himself, get the block on. And Barcelona eventually able to sweep the ball away. It's hard to be critical of Sevilla, isn't it, in terms of being criticising them for sitting back and defending deep. But we've seen over the years how difficult it is to try and press high against Barcelona, to try and do anything but drop deep in numbers. The initiative certainly was given to Barcelona.
This is Vasquez. Messi digs in. Messi gets it back. Messi takes charge. Messi almost makes it 2-1.
Again, it's last-ditch defending again from the centre-back, Simon Kjaer. Barcelona looking really sharp. They win the ball back quickly on this occasion. Sevilla, therefore, not a set-up exactly how they would like defensively. Kjaer just about gets the deflection.
Here's Messi. To Semedo. So this is Dembele. Dembele to Busquets. Defence comes out in unison. And that Suarez is judged to have nudged.
I think it's a tangle of legs there, isn't there? Not too many complaints from Luis Suarez, and a clever pass from Sergio Busquets. He just taps the ankles of Roque Mesa.
There's a Mexican wave in Morocco as the referee draws to a close. A very competitive first half. Certainly no easing their way back into the new season for these two clubs. Sarabia gave Sevilla the lead after 10 minutes. PK equalising just before half-time. It's 1-1.